Kelvin Owusu Ansah. You can join us on Facebook at 3FM 92.7 and also on Twitter at 3FM 927. Let's start our sports news from yesterday's briefing on the 2023 Africa Games. So the Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf met the press to provide an update on the Africa Games preparations. 3 Sports is bringing you this report.
More than 4,000 athletes from 55 countries are expected in Ghana for the African Games next year. The Games were postponed from August last year to March 2024 due to economic pressures and delays in preparations. The University of Ghana Stadium at Legon, which at the moment is undergoing renovation, is expected to host athletics, football and rugby, with the Achimota Oval making do with cricket and squash. Construction of the Boteman Sports Complex remains ongoing and will host a majority of sports events on the program for Accra 2023. Speaking at a press briefing, the Minister of Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, provided updates on the infrastructure for the Games.
100-seater competition swimming pool, and that is 10-lane competition swimming pool, 8-lane warm-up pool, a 1,000-seater multipurpose hall for games like basketball, table tennis, boxing, badminton. And we have 500-seater multipurpose hall for handball, volleyball, judo, and other indoor games, including 20 VVIP viewing seats and 4 tennis courts with benches, 1 6-lane athletic track. All these facilities, we've gotten assurance from the contractors at the various 3 sites that by December, some of them will start handing over the facility. By December, all the facilities should be done.
The minister also used the opportunity to inform the public on progress made on the 10 multi-purpose sports facilities being constructed across the country.
The phase 2 of the 6 targeted youth resource centers are near completion, and from next month, I've been briefed by the National Youth Authority CEO and the consultants that will start commissioning, especially Azim, Dunkaofen, Doma, Hinkro, Wa, Kufodia, and Ho. These are almost done. The rest of the 4, and that is Navrongo, Enyini, Azuma Nelson, and Yendi, will be working on them very soon. The phase 2 will be starting. Some of them have already even started.
The 13th edition of the African Games will take place in Ghana from 8th March to 23rd March 2024.
So that was the sports minister there, but he however confirmed that the money due Ghana from the World Cup in Qatar 2022 is $9 million, and the GFA have confirmed that they currently have the money in their coffers.
Yes, we have received, the FA have written to the ministry that FIFA have transferred the prize money to the FA. They've written to us, and I've also written to my bosses. So my bosses are yet to respond. Once the response comes, we have precedent. In the 2006 World Cup, when the prize money came, there was portion that was given to the FA for sports development, infrastructure development, and you know what was done. And portion was sent to the consolidated fund. Then in 2010, again, the government invested in. When the prize money came, everything was taken by government. In 2014, when the prize money came, some was given to the FA for AFCON participation in 2015. So this time, we are just about going to AFCON. We also want to develop some sports infrastructure. The FA have written that they want to improve the infrastructure at Pram Pram. Yes, it's something that we need to get executive approval for.
So that is from Mustafa Yusuf. He, however, says that coaches who will pass for the Black Stars, Milovan Rayevac and CK Akona, are still owed by the ministry. Steps are, however, being taken to settle them.
We have not paid. We still owe Milovan. All of CK Akona and Milovan, once their contract was terminated, we sat with them, negotiated their exit, and CK was paid $100,000 immediately after the negotiation, just as Milovan as well. we still owe both of them, and we are in the process. We have payment schedule, of which I will admit we have not been followed the payment schedule because of constraints of funds. But as and when we get funds, we'll be paying the two coaches. Both of them have written to the FA threatening to go to court. We have appealed to them that we are committed in making sure that we settle whatever that we have agreed with them. But both of them have received, just as CK and both of them have received $100,000. For the information, I want to clear the air. We have not finished paying Milovan.
Well, we have not finished paying Milovan Rayovac. Now moving away from that, the Ghana Premier League is set to take off in September. The GFA's club licensing department has scheduled the inspection of the various stadia on the 14th of August. Well, many have complained about the quality of the playing surfaces. Here, as club licensing manager who is in charge of safety and security, Julius Ben Emuna, mentioning other requirements which are needed for the various stadia inspection.
During the process of the season, that is where most of the pitches get deteriorated, and maintenance issues comes in. Of course, there's an argument about monitoring and punishment and all of that. So there's been a lot of work being done on that state. But pitch quality is a zero tolerance for us. It has to be quality, artificial or natural. It has to be quality. Inner perimeter fencing, a tunnel connecting to a befitting dressing room that can accommodate more than 30 people with the necessary furnishing. Of course, as well, washrooms, and then the toilets, as well as a dedicated place for the referees and officials. Then the safe zone where the team buses will park. And most of the stadiums are fenced anyway. Then this season we've added few things. So already we used to have the media tribune and of course the press conference area. Now we're adding a VVIP and a VVIP lounge, and a minimum 2,000 seating capacity for general spectators. So these are the things that we are looking at for going out there to inspect the venues. The standard of play, so the field of play, which is the temple of the game, everything comes down to that place. It has to be quality, the inner perimeter fencing, the tunnel that connects a befitting dressing room for the teams and officials, a safe zone, media tribune, press conference area, VVIP, 2,000 seating stands, and a VVIP lounge to host your VVIP guests that you invite to your stadium. So
that is the requirement there. Now, with regards to the stadiums, clubs in the Western region are struggling to have any opportunity to play at the Sipon Stadium, which is currently under renovation. Sports Minister Mustafa Isef has provided an update on the facility.
On the Sipon Sports Stadium, yes, what the Finance Minister said was for the first phase. The renovation works once again was done in phases. The first phase was above 90% complete, as the Finance Minister said. So when the MP of the area raised the issue, we also responded by indicating that it was for the first phase. The second phase has been given to the contractor to finish, and the contractor has since moved to site. And you all understand that we needed to go through some procurement bureaucracy before we get the contractors to move to site. So we've gone through that hurdle, and the contractor is currently on site. So be rest assured that a Sipon Sports Stadium will be completed and it will be put to good use.
That is from Mustafa Isef. Now away from that, Asante Kotoko, where Dr. Prosper Nate-Ogum is in his first week on his second spell as the head coach of the club. Well, Michael Asaribodi is not convinced that Prosper Nate-Ogum would have the fertile grounds to perform just like his first stint when the Porcupines were able to win the Ghana Premier League for the first time in 8 years.
Some section of the fans still feel that he had a part to play in what has happened to the erstwhile management, and they still think that he is responsible partly for anything that Naya Aponsa could not do in his final year at the club, and so they have some scores to settle with him. I think that he will need to win them over, and he will need to get his PR skills up there to be able to convince these fans that everything that happened in the final year of erstwhile management was not his doing, and that he's coming with a slate clean and he's coming purely to concentrate on helping the club to achieve. And so I think the task is more difficult as compared to his first stint in his second year stint, and I think much need to be done in this contest. But this is a game of football. Anything can happen. And I say this because success can be attained either by design or by accident in the game of football. And I think anything that happens out of the two is quite okay for Prosper Natogum. If he achieves success by design, it allows him to build on whatever program or whatever plan that he's drawn up for the club. If he achieves it by accident, it still buys him more time to continue to implement his philosophy and then ensure that things work well in his second year. So I just can only wish him well, but I don't think the grounds are that fertile as compared to the first stint. And fans should not really be that expectant, but they can still be hopeful that things will turn out good for Asante Kotoko.
Well, Michael Asari-Boadu there on Prosper Natogum. Now, Tusam Athletics and President of the Ghana Athletics Association, Bao Fuseni, holds their session that the local athletes can battle the foreign-based athletes ahead of training and campaign for the upcoming World Championships in Budapest.
We have to camp them, and the campaign shouldn't be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or one-man campaign. There has to be camping that goes along with high-profile competitions. You can't train for 6-8 months without having a competition. And the competition shouldn't be within your peers. It should be within the high-profile athletes that perhaps those that you will compete with during the games. If not the same, but at least similar level or similar potential athletes. So that when you meet them at the games, there will not be nervousness or you'll not be afraid of them because you have competed with them because you know that you've trained enough. I'm telling you, if the foreign-based athletes come down here today, you see surprises from these local-based athletes. The local-based athletes, they are doing so well. I mean, the performances are so high and that we don't want to break them in the middle of the year. We want them to continue. So we are planning to give them one more competition before the World Championship, so that they will have 2 or 3 months of off-season training. Then we'll come back because we need to have early season before the African game, before next year.
Well, so that is from Bar for saying, now away from that, Kyle Walker wants to join German giants FC Bayern Munich. Walker's partner in defense, Ruben Diaz, says they cannot force a decision on the English right back, but will always respect his decision.
It is what it is, and it's football. It's not any other. Well, in the end, it's sports. Sports generally, it's like this, but it's not like any other profession in which things just might be stable for a longer period of time, and we just need to adapt. Let's see what happens. Obviously, the 2 names you said, you're talking about 2 very important players in the last few years, and I'm sure that if they stay, they'll keep being important. But at the same time, it's not my place to say anything else. I think just say that obviously I think all of us, players and fans and staff, would like them to stay, but decisions are decisions, and whatever decision is made, we have to respect it, and we have to.
So that is from Ruben Diaz. Now to some club friendlies, and Jude Bellingham and Joselu were on target as Real Madrid defeated Manchester United 2-0 in the final game of their preseason tour in the United States of America. Andre Onana made his debut for the Red Devils last night. Now Arsenal also bounced back from their disappointing loss to Manchester United to defeat Barcelona 5-3 in Los Angeles. Mikel Arteta explains why it is important that his principles are developed from Pep Guardiola and admits that his team got affected by the nerves in their title challenge.
Think and made me feel the game in a completely different way to the one that I had before that. Nervousness or insecurity or uncertainty in certain moments, I think that's related to a lot of key moments that happens, especially in the 3 consecutive draws that we had, that created a little bit of doubt in ourselves, because then we had more urgency to win, and I think it gave City a big platform to build momentum from they were coming from. So it was one thing really affected the other, and I think that had a really important effect on the outcome of the championship.
Well, now Chelsea drew 1-1 in the Premier League series against Newcastle. Nicholas Jackson, the new striker from Villarreal, was on target as he scored the opener. Now Jordan Henderson has confirmed he's leaving Liverpool after 12 years before an expected move to Saudi Arabian side Al Ettifaq. The 33-year-old midfielder looks set to move to the Premier from the Premier League to the Saudi Pro League in a deal worth £12 million plus add-ons. Posting on his Instagram account, Henderson said, "Just know I will always be a Red until the day I die. He had some trophies with Liverpool, including the UEFA Champions League, FA Cup, 2 League Cups, UEFA Super Cup, and FIFA Club World Cup during his time at Merseyside. Now, Tottenham Hotspur have also accepted an offer of £12.9 million for Davinson Sanchez, the defender, according to reports from Russia, to join Spartak Moscow. Well, the defender is, however, reluctant to join the Russian side. Now, Kylian Mbappe is still not interested in meeting representatives from Al Hilal to discuss a move to Saudi Arabia. Well, he's refused to open talks with Al Hilal despite Paris Saint-Germain accepting their world record transfer offer. L'Equipe reported that officials from the Saudi club had made the trip over to Paris, hoping to finalize the stunning deal. Well, Mbappe is still proving stubborn. He's just 24 years and has an eye to join Real Madrid. Now, to the Women's World Cup, Japan have qualified for the FIFA Women's World Cup round of 16 after their routine win over Costa Rica was followed by Spain defeating Zambia. Well, Spain and Japan have now qualified to the next stage. Well, Spain defeated Zambia by 5-0, and they are the first sides to qualify to the next round, having 6 points in Group C, and they will face off in the final game for the top spot. However, Canada fought back from a goal down to beat the Republic of Ireland 2-1 and knocked the debutants out of the Women's World Cup. But earlier this morning, the United States of America settled for a 1-0 draw against the Netherlands. So the two big sides in there. We expect Nigeria to play against Australia. That game is coming up at 10 a.m. That'll be all for sports. My name is Kelvin Owusu Ansah. Have a brilliant morning. Jordan Hughes and the rest of the team take over.